hear me fine? Can you hear me okay? Perfect. So, thank you very much for that introduction. I am incomparable, and I am graduating in 3 weeks, so that's exciting. But before we start, I just want to do 2 quick things. I want everybody who has a water bottle in here, or any type of beverage, to take a sip every time I say so in this talk. S-O. It's like a fun little drinking game. You're going to be really hydrated by the end of it, I guarantee you. Also, I just want to say, as a precaution, these are my observations I've made between my own dating patterns. What dating patterns? My friends' dating patterns and the research that I have previously done. So if you don't agree, it ain't no sweat. Just send me an angry Facebook message, Jacob in Wagner. Cool? Awesome. So okay, stop me if this sounds familiar. I'm joking, don't stop me. I enjoy talking, so just listen, okay? You are in a lecture and you're bored to bits, and so as any good college student does, you pull out your phone. You mosey through your social media apps, and on Facebook, you see that girl you went to high school with is now engaged, and another one is expecting her 2nd child. Twitter tells you, yes, Donald Trump is still leading the polls, and that Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer. Instagram just makes you hungry and jealous because if you're anything like me, you follow all of the foodstagrams, and you have friends who just casually jet set around the world taking beautiful pictures wherever they go. With all your social media bases covered, you're still bored. You give a quick try to that Candy Crush level you've been stuck on for 7 months now, and then delete the app in frustration, only to download it again when you get home. You check your text and see that you forgot to respond to your best friend yesterday and send a delayed apology message, citing your frequent airheadedness. Then, with everything else done, you go to that one folder of miscellaneous apps on your phone. You scroll through a few pages of, for me, Apple's useless apps and find the dating apps you're still ashamedly using. You make sure no one around you can see you perusing the guys and girls on the app, and you start swiping. The first 2 get a quick left because the first one is holding a fish, and the next one is in a group picture so you can't really tell who he is. Then, finally, you come across the one. He's tall, he has a great smile, and to top it all off, he's holding a dog. Okay, that's an automatic right for me. You click his profile to read, and you start planning your future with this guy. And so somewhere between the naming of your 3rd child and picking where your vacation home is, you swipe right. Then the screen goes dark, and Tinder informs you that it's a match. You're really giddy, and the perfect wedding you were slowly planning is materializing now. You close the app, waiting for him to message you first because, you don't want to seem desperate. You go to verawang.com and pick out the wedding dress you want and add it to your cart, and then you see that he messaged you. You check it immediately. So, no capitalization, no punctuation, no real words to be found. You respond, and eventually you 2 decide on a coffee date, or if you're me, a few drinks at the bar. Regardless, it's a public and relatively safe space for a first meetup. You're excited and you drive there simultaneously with high and no expectations. So what happens between then and the next morning when you're driving home in the clothes you wore last night with only a half-hearted promise to text you later, babe? If you're used to the online dating culture, this is just more of the expected. If you're not, it's the first relatively disappointing and ultimately anticlimactic connection brought upon by online dating. So how do you prepare for this? How do you make sure you're safe in such a setting as this? How do we live with ourselves when we're sitting in the McDonald's parking lot in our car at 8 a.m. with a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle? This is where I come in. For the rest of this talk, consider me your personal online dating guru. I'm going to help us define what exactly is online dating and what it means to us in the way we interact with people now. And then I'll give you some tips of the trade I've come to live by with my many online dating profiles. And by many, I mean many. So what is online dating? From the esteemed resource Wikipedia, online dating is defined as a personal introductory system where individuals can find and contact each other over the internet to arrange a date, usually with the objective of developing a personal, romantic, or sexual relationship. More or less, it's exactly what it sounds like. Using the internet through dedicated apps and websites and dating applications to find potential partners in relationships that range from a one-night hookup to a long-term relationship. But really, what is online dating? I put this question in italics the second time I wrote it to make sure I put emphasis on it. The modern day usage has defined online dating as using the technological advantages to our advantage, simultaneously isolating us from some people, while at the same time exposing us to millions of possible matches around the world, ultimately hoping to fulfill our own selfish desires. If we look at the Pew Research Center statistics, we can see online dating by age group has doubled and even tripled in certain age category ranges in a little over 10 years, with the under 25 category, that's us, tripling, and the over 50 category doubling. And these two groups are leading the charge in online dating profiles. In addition, 66% of all online dating users say that they have gone on a date with someone they have met online, an increase of 23% from 10 years ago. So what does this all mean? Basically, online dating is becoming the new way to meet your partner. And even if you don't have a dating app, you've checked your potential mate's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even Googled him. And if you haven't done any of this, then you've reached the level of hipsterdom that is satirized in Portlandia. Regardless, more and more people are turning to the web to find their partners, and why shouldn't they? In the world we live in, nostalgia is literally a thing of the past. We experience things for such a short period of time that until newer, better, faster things is introduced, we move on to it and leaving whatever we were doing with nothing more than a passing thought. You can now casually judge people based on the way they look from the comfort of your couch and a pair of sweatpants. You can figure out who the most compatible person for you is in your city, your state, your nation, and in the world. You can present the best image of you that you want without having to worry about a bad hair day, about being mid-breakout, or between showers because you woke up late that morning. Online dating gives us the upper hand in meeting new people. We can present the best image of ourselves possible in the hopes that it meshes with somebody else's best image possible. We can do a Princess Diaries type makeover by ourselves, for ourselves, all while eating a meal that was frozen less than 5 minutes ago and watching reruns of the Golden Girls. Is that just me? Oh well. Realize how incredible that is, everybody. Online dating isn't bad or as desperate as it seems or once seemed. Online dating, if used properly, is the best way to appeal to potential partners. However, with this innovation comes some pretty nasty side effects. Of the many, I'll just cover the 3 that are probably the worst. First, with online dating profiles being the best image of you that you can produce, people see a high volume of other people's best images. As such, expectations have gotten way higher. For example, if a guy so much has a fish in his hand, it's an automatic left. In a hunter-gatherer society, he would have been the hottest one in the tribe. Now he's getting lefts and taking L's all the time, folks. And so, but now we expect every profile we encounter to present their A game, and anything less doesn't meet our standards. And on the other side of this coin, we get offended if somebody thinks our A game is actually more like a C+ game. We are subjected to and subject people to much harsher criticism now than before because of the nature of online dating. Next, because of the speed of the internet in every dorm, here that doesn't apply. There's no speed in the dorms here of the internet, just so you know that. Our online dating selves are looking for instant gratification. We can match with someone, start a conversation, plan a date, go to said date, hook up, and never talk again within the span of 24 hours. I tell you what, it takes me that long just to get ready to go out with my friends, okay? We want attention and validation, and we want it now. But what if we're not ready for that? What if, like me, you're busy all the time and you have to wait for the next break in your schedule to fulfill your validation needs? Online dating is fast-paced, high-octane machine that leaves people behind who can't meet up now. Not to mention the speed at which pictures can be sent now. People want nudes, and people want them now. And lastly, the creature that has come to haunt our dating sites is the catfish. Online dating makes it incredibly easy for someone to pose as someone else with the intention of luring someone into a relationship. Feel free to not participate if you aren't comfortable with this question, but raise your hand if you have ever been catfished by somebody in one sense or another. Thank you. And so this prevalence is astounding. In some type of cyclical manner, someone has been rejected on a dating site, has created a new profile with someone they deem more attractive than themselves, and is now presenting somebody else's A game in the hope that they can get attention and validation. Hell, MTV's best show in the past 5 years has been Catfish, the TV show. These things have changed the way we interact with our potential partners online, and probably have done this for forever. We must always present our A game. We must always be ready at a moment's notice to get that gratification we really want, and we must always have our guard up against anyone trying to deceive us. So how the hell do we navigate this? So if you've been zoning out till now or tweeting about how this gap-toothed bitch is yelling at you, here's where you should pay attention. I'll give you my 9 rules to live by when it comes to online dating. So here we go. Number 1, pay attention to how you write and how the person you're messaging writes. A general rule of thumb: short, choppy responses means somebody is ready for right now. If you're interested, hop on it. A lot of exclamation points can indicate somebody's kind of excited or too excitable, meaning you might want to tap the brakes a little bit. If somebody messages you in all caps, run. Number 2, as I mentioned earlier, your online dating profiles are illuminating, and your online self is an extension of your real self, meaning don't be a jackass. And if you are a jackass, try not to be a jackass. This also means don't present what you're not, because that version you created might end up in a relationship, but you won't. Be smart about what you post and present, and make it the best you that you can. Number 3, don't be afraid to block people. This feature exists for a reason. People are awful, rude, crude, and unfortunately can get away with a lot more online than they normally would in person. They can hide behind a computer or behind their cell phone while they demean you, objectify you, or come on way too strong to you. My personal advice and what I live by is that I am my first priority, and I will protect myself at all costs, even if that means just pressing the block button every now and then. Number 4, when talking to someone new, ask a lot of questions. Make sure you have an idea of someone before you hook up with them or go out on a date with them, and be persistent about your questions. Your time, your rules. Make sure this is someone at least halfway decent before making any moves, and be sure to clarify what they are looking for and know what you are looking for as well. And if you want a relationship and someone asks for a hookup, don't do it. And number 5, on the flip side, if you are both looking for a hookup, unsolicited nudes get a bad rap. Window shop. See what you want to buy before you go buy it, y'all. Number 6, this one's important. And by a show of hands again, raise your hand if you have Tinder or any type of dating app on your phone right now.
Wait, I don't have a phone.
Thank you. This one's important to admit your desires and don't feel shame about them, and be honest with yourself. If you are exploring these apps for gratification and validation, own it. You're a human being and you have every right to feel that way. Your urges and desires and cravings need to be addressed, and these are great mediums to satisfy them, so take advantage of that. Number 7, accept rejection. It happens often, and most of the time it's not anything wrong with you. You're just not what somebody is looking for at that point in time. It's not a personal comment on how you look or how you are, but rather it's an intersection of opposing expectations. And number 8, keep expectations reasonable, because nothing may happen on these websites. You could very well message someone and never talk to them again. And number 9, and most importantly, it is always possible to find love online. Thank y'all so much. Y'all been fantastic.